We went downstairs to breakfast. Montmorency had invited two other dogs to come and see him off, and they were willing away time by fighting on the doorstep. We calmed them with an umbrella and sat down to chops and cold beef. Harris said, "The great thing is to make a good breakfast," and he started with a couple of chops, saying that he would take these while they were hot, as the beef could wait. George got hold of the paper and read us out the boating fatalities and the weather forecast, which later professed rain, cold, wet, to fine. Whatever more than usually ghastly thing in weather that may be. Occasional local thunderstorms, east wind, with general depression over the Midland countries. Bar falling. I do think that all of the silly, irritating, tomfoolishness by which we are plagued, this weather forecast fraud is about the most aggravating. It forecast precisely what happened yesterday or the day before, and precisely the opposite of what is going to happen today. I remember a holiday of mine being completely ruined one late autumn by our paying attention to the weather report of the local newspaper. Heavy showers with thunderstorms may be expected today, it would say on Monday. And so, we would give up our picnic and stop indoors all day, waiting for the rain. And people would pass the house, going off in wagonettes and coaches as jolly and merry as could be, the sun shining out and not a cloud to be seen. We said, as we stood looking out at them through the windows, won't they come home soft? And we chuckled to think how wet they were going to get, and come back and stirred the fire and got our books and arranged our specimens of seaweed. By 12 o'clock, with the sun pouring into the room, the heat became quite oppressive, and we wondered when those heavy showers and occasional thunderstorms were going to begin. Ah, they'll come in the afternoon and you'll find. We said to each other, "Oh, won't those people get wet?" At 1 o'clock, the landlady would come in to ask if we were not going out, as it seemed such a lovely day. "No, no," we replied, with a knowing chuckle. "Not we. We don't mean to get wet. No, no." And when the afternoon was nearly gone, and still there was no sign of rain, we tried to cheer ourselves up with the idea that it would come down all at once, just as the people had started for home and were out of the reach of any shelter, and that they would thus get more drenched than ever. But not a drop ever fell, and it finished a grand day and a lovely night after it. The next morning, we would read that it was going to be a warm, fine to set fair day. Much heat, and we would dress ourselves in flimsy things and go out. And half an hour after we had started, it would commence to rain hard, and a bitterly cold wind would spring up, and both would keep on steadily for the whole day. And we would come home with colds and rheumatism all over us and go to bed. The weather is a thing that is beyond me altogether. I never can understand it. The barometer is useless.